Beyond Re-Animator is a necromancy horror movie sequel. Yes. So, it's been 13 years, real time and in movie time, since we've seen our adorable Dr. West. And yeah, shit's just not good with our buddy as he is in prison for a very long time. As context and clues throughout this movie basically say that Kane turned state's evidence against West, and yeah, West has been in prison for all the shenanigans he's done in all the movies. So, la-di-da-di-da-di, a new medical person comes to this hospital, and he actually was somebody who witnessed Dr. West's creation in real life. As this new doctor, his sister died due to some of the shenanigans going on with Dr. West, and even though his sister died, he's become obsessed with Dr. West and his experiments, and he wants to just work with him. So, since West is in prison, he ends up becoming a prison doctor, goes to the prison, and basically asks to be teamed up with Dr. West. For some reason, they allow it. And yeah, Dr. West is definitely ecstatic to see that he could continue his experiments, as he has not stopped doing any experiments in prison, but they're different experiments. It's more basically he's learning how to capture the soul, like the essence of a person, instead of just reanimating them. So now in this one, when he's bringing people back to life with the green glowy goo shit, he now has the essence from someone else that he's putting into another person, where they're not mindless, basically zombies in a sense. And yeah, shit just goes sideways when he puts it into the prison doctor's love interest, because why not? Dude definitely hates these love interests, Dr. West. And yeah, they just basically have to, do all these crazy experiments while some of the inmates are after Dr. West and while the warden's after Dr. West. And it is just a crazy time, and at the end of the movie, like all the other movies, shit just hits the fan like always, and it's chaos, and I love it. So that's about the movie without too many spoilers. So my review to Beyond Re-Animator, and there will be spoilers. So yeah, this movie definitely wasn't as good as the first two. I definitely like the first two a lot more, but it still had just that crazy ass ending that all of them have, which is kind of their little gimmick. And yeah, just the end of this movie was just insane. So even though the rest of the movie for me wasn't my cup of tea, it's just these endings of these movies are just insane, and the ending to this movie was just crazy. So it's definitely still a good movie. Now West is back, and Jeffrey Combs, is still killing this role even 13 years later. After the second one, Bride of the Re-Animator. So, nice way to jump back into character. The practical effects weren't as good, but everything obviously just turns up in the end. The end is just where you're going to basically reap your rewards for just watching this movie. And it's kind of, it's kind of cool seeing him in prison, because it's like, this dude didn't give a shit. That's what I like about West's character, is this dude doesn't care the consequences of his actions as long as he gets his data. He's willing to go to prison, get attacked, maybe die, He just doesn't care. He needs to just get his data and to see what's happening with this crazy Re-Animator shit. So him being in prison was kind of fitting because it's like he just doesn't give a fuck. And while in prison, he was just still continuing his experiments. I mean, you cannot stop this guy. A menace, easily kind of one of my favorite mad scientist characters in a movie. West is just a very well written character. Yeah, besides that, I mean, everything was just kind of a little worse than the other movies, which kind of sucked because it's 13 years later. In real life, you think things would be a little better. But, yeah, nonetheless, still pretty good. Yeah, honestly, just a halfway decent movie. Like I said, I wish it was just a little better. Would have really wrapped this trilogy up. Because, I mean, honestly, like, these movies are insanely good. And, I'd actually seen Bride of the Re-Animator before, but I hadn't seen Re-Animator or Beyond Re-Animator, so a little tidbit. Yeah, just really, really well done movies. Yeah, just the main takeaway is that this movie's not as good as the others, which isn't a bad thing because the others are just insanely good. But once you get to the very end of this movie, shit just hits the fan like all the other movies, and the payout is great. There's some just really good scenes at the end of this movie with good directing and good camera work. Yeah, so my recommendation for Beyond Re-Animator, and I'm just going to go with recommended on this one, as the others I gave highly recommended because they're just classics. But this one was a little boring all the way up to the end, but they did really good on the payoff. I mean, the payoff is insane, and it's not like a couple minutes. I mean, it's almost like 10 minutes, so I mean, it all works out. Plus, the story wasn't the worst. I did enjoy it, so recommended.